Then he has the audacity to say that he's putting his best foot forward.
Into another woman's mouth.
What? Oh, yeah. It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez. I am happy to be here. Margie, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you, too.
It is great to see you, Margie.
You sound like AI. I'm like, what is going on? What Black Mirror episode is this?
I've never watched that show.
Oh, God, it's so good, but it's so disturbing. A whole new season has emerged, and I'm still not over season 2, which probably aired, 3 years ago or something now, but it was so chilling. It's like the Twilight Zone in dropped into like a whole new level of like darkness. It's insane. So
I'm going to have to pass on that. I made it through the first season of The Bear. I made it through the first episode of the second season of The Bear. I have never even considered watching The Handmaid's Tale. I didn't watch Westworld. And yeah, Black Mirror, you just confirmed my suspicion. And I can't handle trauma. And I do watch Yellow Jackets, and that is traumatic as hell. But
I think it's a tonnage issue. You know what I mean? It's like I can't watch all of those things, so I choose like one because I'm too fragile. I just can't take it.
Yeah.
And Black Mirror, it's like brilliantly written, produced, acted. Like it's an amazing work of art. But I had to bow out of The Handmaid's Tale. I had to bow out of The Bear because it's just like I can only do like a couple of these like once every 6 to 8 months. Because even Severance, like after a while, I would get that queasy feeling where I'm like, I can't go down there again. I can't do it anymore.
That show, I tried real hard. I know that it has a loyal following. Like people Jones for that show. Like they snort it. They can't wait for another episode or another season. I want so badly to jump into that zeitgeist, the zeitgeist of Severance. The first episode was just the buzz of fluorescent lighting, endless 70s, late 60s, dreary offices with nothing but avocado green and wood paneling. And I don't know if it's my ADHD. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I cannot visually engross myself. This show is making me, I feel itchy in a real negative way. I can't handle it. It's stressing me out visually. Yeah. It's stressing me out.
I mean, it's what, the director wanted to accomplish, and they did. But it's like The Bear. It's like that's visually beautiful, but the content is so intense that like I just can't visit everyone's alcoholic household traumas.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, these shows are, they're amazing. It's just, I feel I'm out of it because I know that a new season of The Handmaid's Tale has come out, and I'm just like, not right now, guys, not right now. I can't. I can't.
Samira Wiley, she quit the cast because she's like, I can't handle the trauma anymore. I can't. It is too difficult for me to have to recover from this. I loved that she made that choice for herself.
Me too. And I think it's circumstantial. For me, I can speak for me, it's circumstantial because of world events. There's no relief. I leave the world of these shows and I go right into another world that feels like oppressive and grinding and terrifying. So I'm turning to TV right now for White Lotus. Take me to the fucking fancy resort and let me watch rich people fuck up. God, yes.
Yes.
I just want to watch relatively inconsequential bullshit go down. A jewelry store robbery, bring it, please. Yeah, all of it.
it is much easier for me to wrap my mind around the fact that it is a fictional television show. Whether or not I can relate to some of the human experiences that are going on and appreciate that to them, I can still turn it off and just marvel at the artistry and the poetry and the visuals. Like, hello, in the very first episode, the cover-up that Lori was wearing, it was like aqua blue or like teal, and it had the photographic palm trees on it. You better believe I Googled that immediately. It is, I believe, it's either $3,000 or $6,000. It's made to order. And I still think about it. I still wonder if there's a world in which I can have a $3,000 to $6,000.
Get on the real, baby. See if anyone's
Oh, that's a
getting rid
great
of
idea.
theirs.
That's a great idea. I might
Yeah.
have already, I'm not sure. But yes, so there are some shows where I can separate myself. And you're right. We are in a real life dystopian nightmare. So I don't want to visit dystopian nightmares in my spare time.
Right for right now. I'm
For
so
right
glad
now,
all of these
yes,
shows are
yes.
archived so that when the light shines in again in all of those places where there's darkness right now, I'll be able to go look at those shows and be like, these are great. Great job,
Yes,
everyone.
yes,
But
yes.
right now, I just need Summer House.
I need Summer House so bad.
So bad.
I love it. I
Me
love
too.
it so much. I love it so much. I am so glad that my husband enjoys it as much as me. Yeah, I watched this episode we're going to talk about. I watched it twice. 3 times. I watched it 3 times. Holy shit. And I loved it each time I watched it. Yeah, I watched it for fun when it came, the night it came out. I took notes during the day yesterday. And then last night I watched it again for fun with Josh. But yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's so fun to watch because all of the girls on this show have like such right reads on every situation. It's so satisfying to watch because the boys are like boys I experienced at that age, and the girls are so evolved. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really fun to watch. Like, because I would think what they say now, but I would say something very different. I would try to understand a little bit more and give them one more chance. And with
God.
Lexi just rolling her eyes and telling Lindsay, you're wrong. Like, it's just everything about this is so, I don't know. It's like, it's weirdly empowering. Is that a dumb word to use? It's probably too
No.
big of a word to use, but I felt so positive coming out of this episode. I was like, yes, great.
Yes, I did too. It's one of my main, how do I explain it? It's something that I definitely notice on this show more than, oh yeah, this is a different generation. These are millennials, younger
And Gen
millennials
Z.
and Gen Zs.
Mm-hmm.
So their approach to life and conflict, professionally, romantically, it is significantly different than the cast we just left on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
By miles.
But then there's the Valley,
Well, now,
which is also the
yes.
same age group, and they are in need of intensive inpatient treatment.
But they're like elder millennials and Gen X-ish. I feel like probably Jax is Gen X, maybe.
Ew, I don't want to claim him.
Well,
But yeah, there's
but
a hefty amount
anyways,
of Gen
these
X that
are
needs a lot of
younger
therapy.
millennials and Gen Z, and what a remarkable adjustment women are making in terms of just like standing up for themselves, saying what's true for themselves, and creating boundaries and sticking by them.
Yeah, yeah. Lindsay,
Not Lindsay.
Lindsay could. I want her to be free. I want her to be free of her childhood stuff that is clearly still informing her viewpoints. And also, just do not take her advice. When she said, Jesse, words of affirmation, I'm like, just saying I understand is not a word of affirmation.
But that's where I love Lexi jumped right on it. She was like, he doesn't understand, and that's why I don't want to date him.
Yeah.
So Lindsay didn't even get a minute for her lip service to land. It was great. I loved it.
Well, let's do it then. This is Summer House, Season 9, Episode 12, entitled Pillow Fight. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
I'm okay with it.
And we start up back at the snooze fest at 9:09 p.m., where Lexi is thanking the girls for having her back. And Paige says to her, they've known Jesse longer, but he's a guy, so we'll kill him. And I just wrote, that's a girl's girl. Take notes, Kyle Richards. You don't justify memes and jokes. You just make it real clear. We've known him longer. You're a girl. You're in the right. We'll kill him.
Oh my God.
And she followed through. It's not like she just said it to Lexi. As the episode progresses, she stands by that, and I loved her for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, Kyle celebrates doing the ice luge, and I said, aim high, aim high, aim high, aim high, Kyle, cook.
We have a general partying sequence. I did not write any of the specifics because it really just bounces around. Showing people going like, hello, I'm Tom. And I'm like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
The next thing that seemed to have some impact was Carl and Sierra talking in that little dance area with very fickle pixie lights that seemed to keep going in and out. And Carl eases into this, he's there to confess his crush on her, and he eases in by asking Sierra if there's any guys for her at this party. And somehow she says she doesn't kiss and tell, but Carl does. And this is because he told Sierra that he slept with the girl and finally broke his 1-year celibacy streak. And they sit, and Carl confides in Sierra that why he did this heading into confessing a crush on this woman. He opens by saying, I didn't perform at my optimal level when I slept with this woman. And I was like, sir, if you're going to tell this lady that you want to be with her, maybe don't start with like, I'm limp.
Well, I had a different take on it.
I mean, I love him for being honest 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't think he anticipated that Sierra would say like, yes, Carl, let's give it a go. I think he knew this was an exercise in like, say what you want and let it lie. But I just thought that was a hilarious starter.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't think that that's what he was alluding to when he said less than optimum. I just figured he was maybe like clunky. I mean, so I
didn't mean to. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, yeah, I'm not.
It was unclear, and that I think was like, Carl, what are you doing?
Yeah. This is what I love about Carl Radke is that he doesn't pretend to be too. He's earnest. He's so earnest, and you know, you and I were talking about Ryan Bailey before we started recording and how much we love him. And you refer to him as pure.
Mm-hmm.
His earnestness is pure, totally. Carl's isn't pure, but it's still earnest. Like it's got some grit to it. You know what I mean? Like he's an
addict.
He's an addict, and his brother
honesty.
died on the streets.
Yeah, man.
You know, like he's seen some things.
He experienced them himself.
Exactly.
He almost, he was on the path to taking his own self off the planet.
Right.
The way he was headed.
So I love the fact that he's not, even if he does feel like he shared too much, or he's too weird or too loserish, he outs himself constantly. He's not shying away from who he is. And it makes me just more and more endeared to him and more supportive of him. Again, I do not want to veer into parasocial bullshit with this Bravo personality. I'm just saying that as someone to watch on my screen once a week, this is why I have a soft spot in my heart for Carl Radke, is because he is not afraid to lay it all out there. Even if it does make him feel itchy in a way, he's okay with that too.
And he's doing this stone cold sober. And this, again, is why I love watching these shows, because we met Carl 9 years ago as a drinker and a drugger and a womanizer. And now this earnest man in his fresh out of the Amazon box, still has creases in it, PJ outfit, sitting down with Sierra saying like, I didn't perform at my optimum. Like, I really appreciate him. And everything he said, he eventually just comes out with it after Sierra mentions that, I've been telling the girls I'm kind of done dating white men. And he's like, there goes my chance. But he does it anyway. He sat her there to have this confession, and he does it. He says he has a crush on her. And then he goes on and says what every bachelor on that show needs to learn something specific and personal and really thoughtful. He says, Sierra is a beautiful and incredible person. When she walks in the room, her hotness takes his breath away. And then he says, but you are also incredibly emotionally intelligent. You're obviously very smart. You have good morals and you care about shit that matters. And the fact that you're a nurse speaks so much about who you are deep down. I've always thought you were an amazing person, but I always thought I didn't have a shot. And I was like, print it, sell it. Like that is how you don't like. I watch The Bachelor still from time to time, and it's still 50,000 years later. Guys going like, I feel a connection. And when dads are like, what do you like about my daughter? They're like, we really get each other. It's like, no, this is what you say. Something about what they do, what you find appealing about them beyond their beauty. It's like he's saying we have morals that align, and I see in you a depth and an emotional intelligence that speaks to me. Like, and she's able to receive it in a way that she's not grossed out by it because it's just true. It's just a fact. I loved it.
She was on Watch What Happens Live. Was it after this episode? I think it was.
Yeah, she looked gorgeous.
Yes, she looked gorgeous. And then she got the question. They were playing one of the Clubhouse games, and it was like, who's the most eligible person to date? And everyone was expecting her to put down one of her male castmates' names. And she writes Paige. I was like, oh my God, yes. Kyle would never, to your point you raised earlier, Kyle Richards would never, not Kyle Cook. Well, fuck. Kyle Cook probably wouldn't either, dick. I don't like him. Anyway, Sierra seems like a friend you absolutely want on your side. And if she's your friend, you know you have a soft place to land, who's going to just be there for you and champion you. And I love her. She's one of my favorite things about this show.
Me too. And I didn't get based on the rest of this episode and that appearance on Watch What Happens Live, it doesn't sound like Sierra was just a hard no. It basically felt like she was so burned by having dated someone on the cast. Plus, he literally just broke up with Lindsay, who remains on the cast. It's like, no, dude, like the timing is not right, which may have made this a safer ask for Carl because like the likelihood that this is a no is 99.99%. But they're wonderful together because they're both honest and sweet and principled and wonderful. And I don't know. I'm weirdly rooting for like 5 to 10 years down the line for them to find their way to each other and be like, here we go.
And I believed her when I know we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, yes.
Carl presses, and I appreciated him for this. He goes, do you ever look at me and go like, Carl, I wonder. And she's so honest. She says at one point, but after he got engaged to Lindsay, it's basically just too messy to even consider. She doesn't want to step on Lindsay's toes, and she doesn't want to hear opinions from anyone else in the house. And she goes, I basically just need to meet a stranger. And that's fair. Like, she was so burned with everything that happened with West. Everyone does weigh in on everything. And I get it. I get why she wants to distance herself from anything that could end up as an on-camera situation.
And I also appreciated that she said, at the same time, what's meant to be will be.
I know. I thought that was so romantic. If this down the line comes to fruition, this is the clip they'll play at the rehearsal dinner.
And I don't know how many times, Margie, I called you in romantic distress or called my Al-Anon sponsor in romantic distress and was told, Ramona, what's meant to be will be. There's nothing you can do. That if this relationship is meant to be, there's nothing you can do that can fuck it up. There's nothing that you can do to stop it from happening. Yeah. Living fucking proof. 100%. It was great. It was great to hear her say that. And I believed her too. 100%. Mm-hmm.
And Carl was lovely. He's like, I get it 100%. And he just goes, regardless of whatever, I just love having you around. And I was like, oh, it's so true. He gives us a little confessional where he says that over the last year, he like lost and regained a lot of confidence. And now he's finally feeling good and ready to take some big swings. And he just goes one little step at a time. And I'm like, Carl, this was a huge step. You did it on camera. And again, I think there was some safety in knowing she'd say no, but it's still vulnerable to say all of that stuff to anyone,
Absolutely.
whether you know the outcome or not, or whether you're truly invested in the relationship moving forward or not. I just thought it
Absolutely.
was lovely.
I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was like a really realistic conversation. This conversation could happen off of Bravo.
Yeah.
It felt real. It felt genuine. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And then we go into another sequence of general partying. And the next thing I have of interest is Jesse chatting with Amanda Page and Sierra. And then it's in a total 180 counterpoint, polar opposite to Carl Radke, or basically who Carl Radke was 9 years ago. We see Jesse Solomon just defensive, whiny, justifying, explaining, defending, nightmare.
Rationalizing,
Rationalizing, that's the
missing
word.
his completely evading even a morsel, a half of an ounce of personal responsibility. It's everybody else's fault. And he's terrible.
My favorite, it comes up a few times in this episode where he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, obviously, like I let someone suck my toe, but like aside from that, it's like, no. You don't get to go aside from that. It's like, O.J. Simpson, he was a great football player. I know, double murder, fine. But aside from that, it's like, no, it's all one. It's of a piece, sir. You don't get to separate them. Come on. I'm not saying that they're equal offenses. It just seems that outrageous to me that, and again, this is weeks after he sucks someone's toe and he's asking everyone to pretend like it's ancient history, like it's so out of character. Like he's insane.
Yeah. And when I say I love it, I mean, oh God.
We're over explaining. Nobody thinks we approve of
yes.
O.J. Simpson.
Okay, good. Yes.
Nobody loves O.J. Simpson.
My terror at being misunderstood.
Same.
It was yes. There is no world in which you get to have those things be separate. That's
certainly not within weeks of it happening. It's just like you haven't evolved enough in 2.5 weeks to be a totally new guy. How could you guys think I'd ever do that again? It's like, because you're the same dude and you keep defending and not taking responsibility. Anyways, Amanda asks if he's drinking his feelings away and he's immediately defensive and whiny. And he's like, I'm drinking a normal amount at a party that I'm expecting to have fun at. I'm like, okay, dirty
son coming
diapers.
of Kyle. Yes.
It's true. Go to timeout and get your attitude right. And Amanda goes, what's wrong? And he goes, oh. Like a 6-year-old, he scoffed. Like, how could these malicious women not know what they've done to him? He's insane.
Victim. My friends are twisting my words and making Lexi upset with me. Ew, you are a grown man. You are in your early 30s.
And I love Paige for just being like, nope. She goes, you can't come vent to us and then ask us not to be involved. These are your words. Nobody's done anything but relay the truth. And he was like, Ugh.
Then he has the balls to say, I'm sorry. That was a terrible. Oh, no.
You could cut it out if you want.
I'm cutting that out.
Yeah, I know.
Holy shit.
But Paige made the same mistake, you know.
Oh, God.
She tripped on her words, too.
She said
but she just went full bore at it.
Yeah.
She was like, I would cut your remaining ball off. I was like, oh.
That's so gnarly, dude.
So gnarly. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So then he has the audacity to say that he's putting his best foot forward.
Into another woman's mouth.
What? Oh, yeah. You're right. He did do that. He didn't see that coming, did he? Did not see that.
the delusion, this man. You're putting your best foot forward. I cannot wait for him to watch this back. I hope he has some awakening.
I feel like I haven't been this excited for a reunion that didn't involve criminals getting taken to task in a long time.
Same.
I so appreciate the levity, but also watching people whose situations I talked about in therapy myself. And to watch these young women navigate terrible behavior in such an estimable way, whereas I would have taken those crumbs and been like, you're like, oh, I remember the phone calls where you were like, so-and-so did this. Isn't that great? You're all, I don't know. My point is, I don't remember what I was talking about, but I appreciate the levity, but also the real lifeness.
And they're not like ganging up on him. They're just reporting, they're reflecting back to him the truth of the situation. And he cannot receive it. It's amazing to me. He claims that he's not being overly flirtatious and things are being brought from like weeks ago. And it's like, well, you've only been dating for 5 weeks. So like, that's also fair. And Paige tells him, if I was dating you and I saw this behavior, I would cut off your last remaining ball. It's so egregious. And I just appreciated her for making it clear to him, whatever you think you're doing, how it reads, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. So either you need to redefine in each of your relationships what's acceptable, or you need to know that generally what you're doing is considered overly flirtatious, especially when your girlfriend is not there.
And he doesn't understand it. He says, I don't see it. And then we have the flashback to him all over Sierra in the pool. We see the unseen footage of them. Well, I don't know if we saw, maybe that footage was there, but I didn't remember, of like them dancing in a very sexually coded
on
way.
Her ass.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Not only that, what I found most interesting about that flashback is he's grinding on her ass and everybody is clocking the sexual tension. So there's a difference when I dance with like my gay friends than when I dance with someone where there's chemistry.
Right,
and
exactly.
Everybody can sense this chemistry,
100%.
which means they can sense it, and it's Jesse's responsibility to take his dick out of her butt. So, and he didn't. And I also want to note that when Jesse crashed on top of her in the pool, he wiggled his chest back and forth to feel her boobs. You know what I mean? It's not like he just laid his body on top of her. He did that thing to like get an extra kind of feel from it. Like, he's gross. So anyways.
Oh, God.
And then the last in that sequence is him asking Sierra if she wants a massage while he's holding her feet in his lap. Sir.
And then someone makes the joke, why don't you put her toes in your mouth?
Paige, God bless. And it's not like you can't feel these things when you're in a relationship. It's just a matter of like taking some deep breaths and don't say the quiet part out loud. Just like take the breath before you throw yourself and like motorboat Sierra's chest with your chest. Take the breath before you like just, it's okay to feel attraction or be tempted. Like, that's all normal. It's just taking it to this level and being like, what? Crazy. So he still felt, sorry, go ahead.
No, this is where Paige says that if she saw his behavior with Sierra, she would have killed him. And Jesse says he still can't see it. And then one of the most egregious, offensive, ridiculous, what do the young people say, reaching thing I have heard on this network from someone, again, who isn't a criminal or PK or whatever. You know what I'm saying. He says, I was doing it to make Sierra feel better after her breakup with West. Margie, I audibly said to nobody, what the fuck are you kidding me? Last night, Josh was watching it while and I'm very proud of myself to note this, I was in the bathroom taking off my eye makeup and washing my face before I got horizontal, because I knew once I was horizontal watching that episode with him, I was not going to get up and wash my face. So as someone with ADHD who hates washing my fucking face and putting on my ablutions at night because it gives me no delivery of dopamine whatsoever, I was proud of myself. So while I'm in there washing my face, I don't know what scene he's on, but I hear him say, what the fuck, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, my grown-ass husband said this out loud.
It's that ridiculous. And by the way, this is in answer. Jesse asks, what specifically did I do that was inappropriate when Lexi was not here? And Lindsay, like basically cutting off the question, goes, that basically saying that he would have bagged Sierra if he'd arrived before West last year. And Jesse claims that was a joke to make Sierra feel better. And that is when, I'm sure that is when Josh was like, what the fuck, dude? And Sierra looked disgusted and immediately calls him on it. She goes, feel better about what? And basically he says like the whole situation with West. And she goes, I don't need pity from you to feel better. She goes, you're a fucking weirdo for that statement. Fuck you, actually. And he goes, come back. And she goes, nah, fuck you, Jesse. And I was like,
clap.
And just in the moment, so much clarity. This is what I appreciate. Like, my MO at this age was to take in all the information from the offending person, try to process it, make sense of it, see their point of view. I probably still do this to a great degree. But I really appreciate Sierra's just like certainty and clarity and like, this is all wrong. Everything you're saying is gross and wrong. And you're a fucking weirdo. Bye. Love it.
Self-esteem before our very
Yeah.
eyes on Bravo. I love it so
So
much.
good.
So yeah, I went back in the bedroom and I was like, did you just watch the part where Jesse said that he did it to take care of Sierra? He's like, oh my fucking God, Ramona, what? I was like, I know. It's terrible.
And I loved Paige in that moment too. She was like, oh, you just put your foot in it? Because she knew Jesse was about to get, because Sierra just has no time for this. Certainly not after last year. And she really like dropped into a whole new expression of herself on the Traitors, where she's just like, she just cannot stand bullshit for one more minute, which is also the added sweetness of her conversation with Carl, because she can't take any bullshit. And so she sat there from tip to taint to have that conversation with him, because it was all earnest and sweet and real.
I loved it. It was such a stark contrast. Such a stark contrast. Yes. Anyway, explain to me how Schwartz's outfit is sleep related. He's wearing wings and a halo.
He is an angel, and I don't know. Is that like a? I don't know.
I don't either.
Is there an angel of sleep? I guess
I
there's
was just going to ask you the
Sandman.
same thing.
I have no idea.
He fucking blew it, dude. He missed the assignment. And is there a sleep sloth? Is there a sleep sloth?
No, but sloths sleep all the time.
They are very, yes, you're right. And
So
they're very slow.
that-
Okay.
It's
okay.
a reach, but it belongs. I don't know what Schwartz, I don't get it.
I don't
Unless
either.
he's like that poem. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either.
That prayer. But in angels.
Now I lay me
whatever, who
down to
gives a
sleep?
shit? Yeah.
One? I don't
Pray the
know.
Lord my soul to keep, and angels watch me through the night till I awake with morning light or whatever. So maybe it's a religious.
I've never heard that stanza.
Well, it's a change from like, and if I die before I wake.
Oh,
that was the one that
That's
we learned.
dark.
Is it's so Catholic to be like, you better believe in God if you die before you wake. Say this
God,
right
oh
before
my
you go to
God.
bed, little one. I always found that so jarring. Anyways, I don't know what
Anyway.
Tom was doing, but Lexi drags him to do shots in the kitchen. And I did love Lexi and Gabby in this moment, because I, at that age, was Lexi, where you get me like the tiniest bit drunk in my early 20s. And she runs in the kitchen and she goes like, oh no, I love this song. And Gabby goes, here's the thing. You love every song. And like, I was Lexi and every single one of my friends was Gabby. Because you get me in a party situation and I am starting to have like the littlest bit of fun, and it just becomes the most fun all night long.
I was really happy Lexi had such a good time and seemed like she was either doing what I had cultivated unhealthily, I might add, to like, I'm going to be unbothered by this dude's behavior at the party that should be legitimately bothering me because it's bothersome. It's egregious. Like Jesse's whole shtick right now is absolutely unacceptable. So she has every reason to be upset. But the fact that she is still seeming to genuinely be having a good time.
I think she's done, and she knew it. When
Yeah.
that idiot last week on the bed said to her, I wish we could leave this conversation on a better note, but I don't want to miss the whole party. I think she was like,
What a dick.
bye.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
gross.
And once again, tonnage. It's like, you don't get to say that after motorboating Sierra with your own chest, sucking a stranger's toe for being in a room for 37 minutes, lying about it, getting caught, blaming Lexi for being psycho. Like, you don't get all of these things in a 5-week span. I think she's just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And she asked Tom Schwartz, what is the most polite way to lock someone out of your room? And I was like, yes, good, great. Doing everything right, Lexi.
Then I just think it's adorable. Paige, Amanda, and Sierra are so happy. They've married their love of bed rotting with being at a party. And you know what? It's genius. Kudos. Yeah.
And they really did their thing. They just got in that bed and debriefed. And it was, Sierra tells them about Carl admitting he has a crush. And the other two veer toward being like shitty and making fun of him. And I loved her because she was like, I really love Carl and I've loved having a friendship with him this year. But she goes, I'm about to jump off a bridge before I date someone else in this house. And I think that's fair for both Carl and Sierra to take a bit of a breather from
For sure.
dating.
I
under that roof.
I think that once this conversation, I mean, it's still a reality show. Let's be fair. Lindsay's gonna catch wind of this crush that he has. And I don't know what's gonna happen. She's either gonna act like she's going to go scorched earth, or she's going to pretend that it's not a big deal, which is another version of scorched earth. But I don't think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be good.
Which is just reflects so poorly on Lindsay, because you have a baby. Like, you shouldn't give a shit about Carl. It's like the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And you hate because you think about him. So you lose, dude. You look like a real loser.
Yeah, yeah. So Sierra tells them, he said, do you think it could happen? And she said, well, what's meant to be will be. And Paige just assumed, oh, that's your way of letting him down easy. And I loved that she said, no, I really do think he's a great guy. And I love having friendship with him. And Amanda speculates that he's confusing their friendship and Sierra being supportive of him since they met with a romantic connection. And then she says, listen, I'm confused sometimes. I was all, whoa. Whoa. I'm not confused about your husband. I'm not confused at all. I think you can do a lot better than him, Amanda. Unless there's something on off screen I don't see. Which, fine. I will give him that. He seems real one-dimensional to me.
Well, it does seem, where this episode ends, it doesn't seem like this marriage, they're not on the same page on a lot of places. So I don't know. And then Paige says, I feel like Jesse Solomon learned nothing. I was like, nailed it. And Sierra says she's fully team fuck Jesse Solomon now. And Amanda says Jesse's embarrassed that he shared his real feelings, and that was the only out he had, was to say he was protecting poor woman Sierra, because women can't handle their feelings and they need a man's help to tell them a joke. His jokes.
I need a pity flirt to make me feel better.
From Jesse Solomon?
Yeah, over
no,
West.
Thank you.
No, yeah. West is not, listen, she got treated like shit. That man did her dirty. We all know that. But it's not like she was sitting there going, oh my God, West, the one that got away. She was just like, that guy is an idiot. But she's also not going to have a veil on about him and just be like, la, 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 la. Now we're just going to go back to being housemates. He deserves the ice he's getting from her this season.
Well, and more than anything, she deserves to heal from that.
Yeah.
And that takes time. Because it's not even about punishing him. It's about, at least for me, when I break up with someone who I really liked, who did me wrong, I'm in pain every time I see them. And as much as everyone around me is like, fuck them, they suck, it doesn't matter. It's like, my heart is still broken. And so it needs time to heal. And that means I cannot fake being polite and friendly. Like, I can't remember if it was this season. I think it was. Like, Sierra's had some tearful confessionals talking about what it did to her, having West go into the press to like give his side of things, which was basically just making Sierra feel like shit, because she really believed everything he told her, invested in that relationship to the point where she slept with him after having told him that that's a really big deal. And she only does that with people that there's a relationship potential with. And he just West Wilsoned out on her. So
gross. What an idiot. Oh, God. Yeah, he really.
And then the scene that I think actually when this scene happened, I was like, Ramona is short circuiting. When Kyle and Schwartz are in the kitchen talking about being dads, I was like, Ramona is lighting her house on fire right now just to burn it all down.
Yes. I was.
It was surreal. It was
I
like
was
a
grossed
sketch.
out. Yeah,
it was a sketch. It was absurd.
An exercise in, again, this was some Jesse Solomon level delusion and inability to see the truth about yourself and what you're saying and what you're doing. Kyle insists that Schwartz looks great. And he's like,
that was the part where I was like, Ramona's going to be losing her mind. I didn't think he looked bad.
Well,
in this lighting, he looked tan and the white made him look fresh.
I have a theory on why.
Okay.
I have a theory on why he looked alive. He's drunk, and
So his body's in stasis now that it's full of alcohol.
He's drunk. He's got whatever that click inside of him that switched on the light that he relies on alcohol for. I'm speculating, purely speculating. Obviously, I don't know if that's for for true. The other thing, I don't know. I was looking at his eyes and I was like, oh, is it about the pasta right now? Like, did he pasta himself while he was at this party? Like completely not out of the realm of possibility. So
Possibility. It's a
yeah,
possibility.
possibility. Oh, Margie, that was good. So Schwartz says there's a void in his life. And I just like, and that's having kids. And I was like, okay. Uh, he does not, well, no, I guess, well, he definitely acts like someone, he's not making a loving choice on how to fill that void, is what I'm saying. Like, there's things he could do, there's choices he could make that could help him get on the road to filling that void with what he wants, but he's relying on old coping mechanisms.
I
And
mean, he's only a couple years out of a divorce from like the only major relationship in his life. Like maybe it's
okay,
not the best time to lock someone down and start making a family. Like I think he needs to be like this. My first therapist in Los Angeles would tell me this. Like you need to be a whole person before you can really get in a relationship. I don't think Schwartz is whole yet.
but he's not
From
doing anything to get whole.
I don't know if that's true because he's a little different than he went straight from the divorce with Katie into his role in Scandival. And he's finally, like he said, and this is the first time in 3 years that he's felt like normal. And he is dating younger and he's partying a lot, but like that's not abnormal for people coming out of a long-term marriage, you know? So I wonder, like he would have to in the next year or so make some active decisions to do shit differently. Or maybe he'll be one of those people who accidentally get someone pregnant and is like, yay, great. All right, now is the time. I'll be a dad
Yeah.
now. I
I
don't know.
guess I just meant like, has he gone to therapy or sought out some sort of modality, some sort of
To heal a little
way
bit.
to heal, or maybe change what's not working? Something's still working for him.
True. Very true.
And that's what I mean. I don't blame him. And, I had so many therapists tell me that too, especially my Al-Anon sponsor at the time, like, Mona, you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. And I don't know that I buy into that 100% anymore. Like I knew where she was coming from. I know what it means when they tell you to be whole. But I also think that can include having all of your scared feelings that include not being confident or second guessing yourself or comparing yourself. It's just do that stuff without judging yourself so harshly, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think
Because
in my case, my therapist was concerned because I went to her very young and a whole people pleaser. And I was like, why aren't my relationships working? And she's like, because you're going in presenting as someone who you're not. So
got it.
once you get to like the 18-month mark and they see who you really are, they're shocked because that's not at all who you said you were. And you're disappointed because you express a need that you'd been hiding the whole time and you're sad that they don't want to meet it. But you didn't tell them that you're a person who has needs. So you're attracting people who like people who don't have needs. So for me to be whole, it was just about being like visible, like in all of my, not that any of it has to be healed or resolved, but I just have to be like, here's the whole me first and upfront, as opposed to like, here's a version of me I know you'll like. Then I'll hook you. Then I'll try to make you not be able to live without me. And then I'll ask for what I want. And then you'll go like, you'll be Jesse Solomon and be like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I understand that completely. Thank you.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I can see that. I can see that. I remember reading, oh God. See, I have judgment. I just noticed some judgment. I just noticed some judgment coming up about a book I did called Calling in the One, which I would definitely not recommend to anybody. Okay, listen, check it out maybe if you want. I'm just saying that I would not recommend it. I think that it is toxic positivity. And it also was like, if you do this 7 weeks and you learn to love yourself by the end of these 7 weeks, you will meet your soulmate. And okay, I eventually did meet my husband, but it was a considerable amount of years after I did that book. But it still had that underlying message that there is going to be something wrong with you if by the end of this 7 week of assignments, you still have residual feelings of insecurity or second guessing yourself or something, or you haven't met your soulmate. And so I appreciate how far self-help has come in the
Yeah.
last decade and a half, I guess.
But it's all just like, I don't think any of that stuff, or at least I try to tell myself, like none of those things were wasted time. Like you can't know until you do it, like when I moved to New York, I did that book called Conversations with God, and I did it with
Mm-hmm.
like a couple people, and like it didn't do what it promised, but I don't consider it a waste of time because I was like trying something. It wasn't self-destructive, and it
I
was
hear
like
you.
I learned what worked for me and what doesn't. And the reason I tried it is because it had worked for someone else. So I was like, I'll do what you did, and it didn't have the same result. And that's where that 12-step thing of take what you like and leave the
Yeah,
rest.
yeah. It's funny because the author of Calling in the One did get divorced, and she was the one that came out and said Gwyneth Paltrow got the term conscious uncoupling from me
Uh-huh.
because when she announced her divorce with her, because that was what this author was, her whole shtick, her whole thing was her Calling in the One book. And then she was getting a divorce and she wanted everyone to know, like, listen, we're getting a divorce, but it wasn't a wash and we are consciously uncoupling. So that was a whole thing when
Yeah.
that came out. I don't know if
But
anyone
I
remembers,
want to
but
say, I think that's true of all divorces. I don't think that means the marriage was a
I
failure. It
agree.
just means it had a season instead of a lifetime attached to it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because for most, if not all, of my divorced friends, like something really valuable came out of it. A
Absolutely.
career or some kids or like something that the world could not be without.
Right.
So,
The person that they were really meant to be with. That
yeah,
really, yeah. Oh,
something.
agreed. Agreed. 100%. Yes, yes, yes. So here's what I noticed. Here's where Kyle really shit the bed. Here's where Kyle had a real missed opportunity. Here's where Kyle shows who he is. So Schwartz says to him, I feel like I have a real void in my life, and that is having kids. It's a big thing to drop on someone, especially when I'm not out here thinking that they text each other every day, like, hey, buddy, how's it going? Like, if one of my friends came to me and said, I feel like I have a void in my life, and that's having children, I would really hold that for them with a lot of regard and care. Ooh, almost started tearing up. Kyle says that he thought of people in their 40s without kids as selfish dicks. That's what he does with that information. Dude makes it about himself. I'm 42, never saw myself without kids, and just completely blows over what Schwartz said. And yes, I want to be fully transparent and 110% honest. I do look for reasons to reinforce my negative opinion of Kyle. I don't have to go very deep to do that, but I want to be honest. That's what I did. That's what I do.
I mean, and then they applaud themselves as, they're 42 now, but they're going to be great dads, even though they're going to be old dads.
I
But
Again, like, I don't know what it's like in LA right now because I didn't have kids when I was in LA, but the Bay Area dads are like, it's rarer for me to meet a Bay Area dad that is on the younger side.
it's only accidental dads who are in their 20s out here. And most dads are Al Pacino and they're 81 years old and still having children with a young woman. So
Oh my God. Oh my God.
it's, they'll be fine or they won't have kids and that'll also be fine. And they'll see. But I feel for them. Like I understand the desire for a family
Absolutely.
and the not knowing if that will break your way. But then it's just hard to take them seriously in like a sloth costume,
Well, yeah. And also him,
drunk, so
well,
drunk.
and saying that they're going to be great dads. Give me some evidence that they're going to be great dads. Give me some evidence. You know what? I have no right to say that.
They
I'm
might be.
sorry.
That's the thing. It's like some people really, when they have kids, it does like turn something new on in them.
Is it
And
going to turn
other,
Kyle Cook off from drinking so much that he comes in and wakes Amanda at 4 o'clock and wakes up Amanda at 4 o'clock in
I
the
couldn't
morning?
say. I have no idea. But I don't know. I mean, that's like
Yeah, you're right. You're
he
right.
did say, at the end he says, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm inclined to believe him. He says that 90% of the reason he started Loverboy was to build a
Yeah.
financial foundation to launch a family from. And he's starting to, they've been married for 3 years, and now he's starting to feel like what's happening. Because the reality is, like, if he starts over, it'll be a couple years before he can have a kid, unless he does a Lindsay and breaks up with Amanda and 6 months later gets some other girl pregnant. But anyways, we move on to Paige watching her kitten on the camera in her apartment, and it was very cute. Then everyone eats late night McDonald's that Paige ordered with Kyle's credit card, and I loved her for that.
Hilarious.
And then Lexi is in her room calling her sister to report on Jesse's behavior, telling, Jesse told Lexi earlier in the day that he loves her. And then has since found out that he's told everyone else he's seeing yellow flags. And I love
Gross.
Lexi's sister. She just goes, he's fucking shit. And I was like, brava.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
And then Gabby in her little lamb outfit comes in, her sheep outfit, and Lexi cries to her. And I thought this was really interesting. Gabby goes, is it about Lexi? Is it about Jesse? And Lexi just goes, I just feel so annoyed. And I was like, that's what it is. She's not heartbroken. She's not betrayed. This is just fucking annoying.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying to
yeah.
have to plead your case. And she feels like this entire house has been biased because
They
of what
have, and
Jesse
Jesse
has.
knew
Yes.
that they would believe him
The audience was biased.
100%.
I mean, there were, little comments, like posts, individual posts about Lexi being unhinged in the Bravo
Or at
subs.
the very least, like a ditz. We just wrote her off as like a young ditz.
Yeah.
Who's
And again,
like, yeah.
the editors do have some
But it was
culpability
good
in
for
this probably.
storytelling
But, oh,
for us to
100%. You're
go
right.
on this ride.
You're right. You're right. I know for me, like the panic and the fear that comes from not being understood or not having my side of the street explained. Whoo, yeah, I would cry from annoyance.
Yeah, because Lexi feels like everyone has been hesitant to befriend her because Jesse has painted her as psycho. And meanwhile, throughout this episode, we really learn that Lexi has been politely hiding the truth, which is she doesn't want to be boyfriend girlfriend with Jesse. She's not there yet. He's come on really strong to her. It's kind of creepy, the lengths that he's gone to omit her side of the story and just put this incomplete, non-representative version of the reality out there. I don't
Coping
like
mechanism. He cannot stomach being afraid or vulnerable for even 10 fucking seconds. He can't do it. He does not have that ability.
Well, hopefully he learns, because
I
I
hope
keep
so.
reminding myself he's new to this. So he had a 5-year thing that took precedence. He had to like get his health right. And now you are a survivor and you still have to grow up. This feels like one of those moments where I hope he takes this opportunity to actually grow up. But not before the guys watch Zootopia outside on the trampoline. Someone gives Lexi the heads up that they're doing that, and Lexi just goes, I hope you guys enjoy that, and shuffles off to her room.
Yeah, because
And
it sounds
Jesse,
ridiculous.
like, sighs all heavy. Still, like, he can't imagine what's bothering this woman. He's insane. He would drive me crazy. And then everyone goes to sleep, and West sleeps on the trampoline until he gets caught in a 4 a.m. East Hampton
Deluge.
downpour. Yeah. Then everyone wakes up, and I don't really have anything until Lexi is packing, talking about being emotionally exhausted.
The only thing amidst these little conversations is when Schwartz went into Paige and Sierra's room and says he's leaving and says, thank you for the good time. And then he's like, he gets real pitiful. Like, you guys need to cherish this. I used to have this with all my friends in LA and now we all hate each other. I was all sad. Sandoval.
So true.
And then Paige says, as long as Amanda doesn't cheat on Kyle, they'll all be okay.
But that gave me a chill. I was like, oh God, is this one of those things that it's like a fucking premonition? Because Amanda's really coming into her own now. And she's a wholly new developed person than the girl who fell in love with and married Kyle. So like, I don't know what's going to happen. But yes, Lexi is packing. She tells us in a confessional that Jesse is working hard to get Lexi to fall for him while simultaneously talking shit about her to everyone else in the house, causing a rift between her and the rest of the cast. And she says, I'm trying so hard to make it work with him, but Jesse has shown me that he is two-faced, which sucks. And I just love the simplicity of that. It's not like, so we have to work on it or blah, blah. It's just like, he's two-faced. That sucks. It's over. It's just really clean and simple. And I appreciate her for that. And then we're in the kitchen with Jesse and Amanda and Lindsay. They're all making breakfast. And Jesse is an idiot and asks, does anybody know why Sierra's so mad at me? Are you fucking joking? The misogyny, just using the woman to rub your chest on hers so you can feel good and then devalue her by saying you were just trying to make her feel better and then blame her for not riding your dick anymore. Like, what do you mean? You don't know why Sierra's mad at you? Go away.
And framing it as she's, I made one offhand joke.
Bitch.
This is him being so manipulative. Again, it's a coping mechanism. He's that terrible brand of person that it can be anybody. It doesn't have to just be a 31-year-old fuckboy, but like anyone's capable of doing this where, well, I'm joking, and it's also they don't have to risk feeling bad about setting a boundary like he did at the cancer dinner, or like it's avoiding taking the responsibility. If it was a joke that person took bad, I don't have any responsibility in it. Dude, I just made a joke. I don't know what your problem is. I cannot stand that brand of person.
But it's also, what's even grosser is it's not a joke. That's what he uses to like cover up after. It was never intended as a joke. He meant all of it sincerely. And when it goes left, he's like, it was just a joke. And then he says, is our friendship really so weak? She can't handle me making one offhand joke. And Amanda, again, right on top of it, just goes, your coping mechanism of jokes in serious conversations does nothing to help. It was not the right time for jokes. And it just shuts him down because it's like, that's the truth. Like, just stop fighting everything. Be culpable. Be human. It's okay to make a mistake. It's gross to continually try to justify and, your word, rationalize it. It's so unpleasant for everyone.
It's so unattractive. It's so repellent. It's just like, ew.
It's pathetic.
Yeah, it's pathetic. Thank you,
and then
writer
Lexi
friend.
enters and Jesse just whatever, asks her if she has a special order for breakfast. And she says, for you to stop talking shit about me. And Amanda bails and runs up the stairs to get in bed with the bed bugs. And Lindsay is just reveling in this conflict like a pig in shit.
100.
Is like, she's literally smiling like, like the show is all for her. It was great.
Oh my God.
And Jesse is immediately defensive and dismissive of Lexi. And he like basically laughs and he's like, I still don't feel like I was talking shit. And I love Lexi for being like, all right, well, let's have the conversation with the whole house present because you've been talking to the whole house and I'm the only one who doesn't have all the information and you're an untrustworthy resource at this point. So, and then Jesse subtly calls her crazy, saying like, I think that's a little extra. It's like, is it? You know what I think is a little extra? Getting your toe sacked for 37 minutes. Like, you don't get to say that. You forfeited your right. If you really want this girl back, then you do whatever the fuck she asks of you till you regain her trust. But this kind of behavior is just like, you're just doubling down on either you don't really want this relationship or you're so defensive of your ego that you're willing to lose the relationship over saving your face rather than protecting your relationship.
Have fun with that.
Dumbass.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
And Lexi just calls it out and she goes, I'm the only one being hurt and the only drama she's experienced this summer is because of Jesse. And I loved her for just being clear on camera with Lindsay as a witness. Great. Then Amanda reports all of this to the bed bugs and they all agree they're tired of Jesse. And then we're back in the kitchen where Gabby enters and senses the tension. and West and Carl enter. And Lindsay, just getting it all wrong, goes like, I think you guys have a lot of love for each other. I really do. And God bless the camera people for zooming in on Lexi's face, where she's like taken aback, squinting, and rolling her eyes all at once somehow.
Lindsay, don't project. Don't fucking project, okay? Just because you wanted to make every relationship work until it was a pile of burnt Cybertruck battery wires. Like, no, like abandon hope, Yale who enter here. But Lindsay never did that. She would cling on until, not cling, I mean, she, the sandwich gate, all the shit that she did. Like,
even Carl.
right.
That summer she promoted that season like I was blindsided. I could never have seen it coming. And then we watched the season. We were like, you were miserable.
Yeah.
You guys fought all summer. He would come a day late because you couldn't stand each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
And I'm not blaming the entire demise of their relationship on Lindsay. I am not indulging in soft misogyny here.
They were a bad match.
They were a bad match.
Yeah.
But she fights dirty. And she also, like, we saw her try to force things with the guy. Where was he from? Turkey, Bulgaria. This is like way back at the very beginning.
Every relationship.
Sandwich
like,
gate
and
guy.
you're the one. Now
yes,
you're the one.
Exactly,
now you're the
exactly,
one.
Exactly. And
so
now
she has a baby daddy. So it's like either he'll be the one or he'll be in her life forever. So she did it.
Who knows? But my point is that she's not the source. She's not the alpha and omega of saying whether or not there's a lot of love there between two people, because I'm not sure that she understands what that is.
No. And also the follow-up, she says, I think you guys have a lot of love for each other. But then the second half of her sentence, but Jesse made you feel like a fool. So to me, those two things are incongruous. If you have a lot of love for each other, you take great care not to make the other person look like a fool. And this isn't the first time. This weekend is not the first time. So I think Lindsay's wrong. And Gabby goes, the yellow flags, Jesse, are not real. And Jesse just goes, mm-hmm. And Gabby is like, okay, but don't shut down. And he's like, I'm just not going to fight it. And Gabby's like, nobody's fighting. And this is where Lindsay goes, words of affirmation, just say I understand. And Lexi cuts it off. He actually doesn't, and that's why I don't want to date him. And Gabby agrees, I don't think you get it, Jesse. I don't think you do.
It's a willful decision on his part to not get it.
He just doesn't want to be in a relationship. Like, he doesn't want to work harder to go deeper with someone. He wants it to be easy. And he says it later in the episode. He says, like, I don't want us to break up because of my actions. And it's like, so you want to do whatever you want, whenever you want, and have no consequences. That's not a relationship. That's a situationship, which is also a thing. But like, what the fuck, dude? But this is where I'm just like, immaturity 101. Like, this guy's just learning. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing. And I hope he learns great big lessons from this nightmarish
I mean, this just reminds me of like 6th and 7th grade. He hasn't graduated. Like, his skills have not evolved since like the 11 and 12-year-olds that I, quote unquote, went steady with when I was a child. He is so terrified of real intimacy. He's terrified of it. And I'm not saying that he has to want real intimacy, which means being vulnerable, taking accountability, saying the scary parts, looking dumb, whatever. He doesn't have to want that, but you can't call her crazy for wanting that. I don't know anyone who's going to date him unless they're a robot, like an AI girlfriend.
Well, he just doesn't need to be in a relationship right now.
Yeah.
He just got his life back, so he should just be banging around like he wants to. Go get your toe sucked, smush your chest on Sierra's. None of this would be an issue if you hadn't told Lexi you love her and that's why you're sleeping with her. You introduced her to your family. You have done a lot in 5 weeks. And in your off hours, you've also done a lot of like overt flirting and shit talking of the woman who you have been love bombing behind your castmates' back. It's just all so, it feels crazy. It just feels chaotic.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's the dramatic one. He's the one bringing chaos and drama. He's causing the
Yeah.
chaos and drama.
Simply because he won't admit, like, I'm not in a place to be a good boyfriend right now. I did the best I could and I got it wrong and I'm so sorry. Like, you just get the fuck out, dude.
Yeah.
And I will say, Jesse does look appropriately shamed and hurt, you know? So I am hopeful that once he can set aside his pride, he might learn something from this, especially this is where reality shows are helpful. It's public. And Jesse likes to be liked, and people do not like him right now with good reason. So maybe he will consider adjusting his behavior, or at least just being honest, like West is now, of like, I'm just going to bang around. I'm not going to do it under the roof. And at least he learned something from last season. And then West enters and asks what the conflict is, and Lexi explains what's been going on, and she adds that Jesse had also come down on her, saying that she was flirting with West way more than Jesse had been flirting the weekend Lexi was out of town. And Jesse immediately gets defensive again and says, like, well, aside from the toe sucking, you were. And it's like, you don't get to say aside from the toe sucking. You can't do that. Because the toe sucking proves you have no boundaries. So your flirting is more threatening because it actually can go too far. You've proved it.
Also, we are seeing evidence that he is an extremely insecure man. And so probably her even talking to West is probably perceived. I mean, she has a very bubbly, warm personality.
I think Jesse is just looking to even the score. He knows he fucked up and he is watching Lexi to be like, oh, there you go. You flirted with Wes. We're even. We're good now. We're even.
You don't think it's insecurity, though, given what Jesse said, or given what Wes said when they were going up to the house last weekend, when he's like, okay, I'll call you in a few minutes. And Wes was like thinking, dude, we're going to be there in no time. Like, chill.
But that was after Toegate. Like, I think since Toegate became a public problem for Jesse, he thought he could keep that secret. He didn't tell it. He didn't tell anyone. Imral told people, and then the girls told Lexi. Jesse never was forthcoming about that.
So you think it's just damage control, not insecurity?
100%. I think he's trying to paint Lexi like we both did it. We both did it. We were a bad match because we both weren't ready. He's just trying to come out like not the, he's the stinker in this, which is okay. People make mistakes. People are bad matches. You have to try to find out. But like, this stuff makes me crazy.
Not to mention the fact that he's slinging his leg all over Sierra in the pool. Dude, you're the flirt. We all know. Anyway.
And to quote Lexi, after Jesse defends himself, she just goes, what the fuck is that? And West even is annoyed. He's like, and I believe West. He's like, I am certain my relationship with Lexi is platonic. And he just goes, don't bring me into this fuckface. Like, West just got out of the public ire. And I think Jesse banked on this season being the golden boy. And I think he's really struggling coming to terms with being seen for who he is as a whole person, which is imperfect. But the more he denies his imperfections, the grosser he is and the harder he is to like. And then Lexi admits that she's the one who's been sugarcoating why they aren't boyfriend and girlfriend yet. And basically she says it's because of his fat ass red flags, and she's done. She says, take the exclusive and shove it out the window. I'm done. And this is when Kyle says to Lexi and Gabby, pipe down a little. He puts his hands up and makes that gesture that made me want to reach the TV and punch him in the throat. Don't say pipe down a little just because two women are talking. They weren't yelling. They were passionate. And yeah,
pipe down a little when you come into the bedroom at 3:00 in the morning. You go, in your fucking pathetic, pitiful voice, I love you. I love you. Pipe down a little when you come in and turn your stupid midlife crisis DJ kit on and wake up your housemates. You pipe down.
But also pipe down a little when you get emotional, Kyle, and when you scream summer should be fun, and when you're crying in the driveway for the 400th time, and when you're calling your wife a bitch and storming around the backyard. You pipe down a little. Did anyone say pipe down to you and pulled their hands up with that like, whoa, whoa, easy, psycho? God, it made me crazy.
I mean, over the years, when Paige does it, he doesn't like that very much.
Nobody can stand women having feelings or expressing them in an energized fashion. These men just cannot take it. And I don't know if it's because they're hungover or if it's all the time, but it's a real plague on that summer house, except Dude. Carl. Carl's the exception. Then we are with Jesse and West in their room, and Jesse goes, that was brutality. God. And Wes goes, "Are you okay?" And I thought this was a pretty loaded question that Jesse failed to answer properly. West asked, "Do you agree with what she's saying or no?" And Jesse goes, "No. Clearly all the flags I was seeing were right." I was like, "Geez, she's making me look bad and like I'm two-faced and a bad person. She's making you look bad? You went into a room where a threesome was taking place and stayed for 37 minutes. Like, she didn't do anything, dude." Oh God, he makes me crazy.
On the spectrum of I'm going to engage in willful cognitive dissonance, Kyle Richards is on there and Jesse is not much further away from her. I'm just saying. And also, fuck you, West, for not taking your friend to task and questioning why. Like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't see where she's coming from? He just lets it lie.
I mean, but it's also like when you're with someone who's so dug in to seeing that, it's almost like I get more infuriated. In Al-Anon, they say you can make a suggestion once and beyond that it's controlling. And anytime I do that thing where I go like, "Are you sure?" It's me trying to be like, "But please, I need you to see it my way." And it's like, he's not gonna. He's
Oh,
not gonna
God.
until the pain is dark enough for him and America turns on him.
See,
So
that's a
well
really
done,
good point,
Jesse.
Margie, because I always think that if I do it coming from a place of like wanting to legitimately help, that maybe it'll be received okay. But you're right. When someone is that willfully in denial as someone who's that dug in as Jesse is, there's no point. You're right. You're
For
absolutely
right
right.
now, at least. And this was so. I mean, Jesse's just like, oh, he's just getting it all wrong. He says, "If she wanted to make it work, I would be open to it." Oh, how nice of you, Jesse. If she wants to do all the work, you would be open to her coming to you after you have behaved like an absolute inconsiderate, nightmarish moron. Like, I couldn't believe his language. He's like, "She's just now more of a negative and a stressor than a positive." Oh, okay.
What a
I'm kind of at a
dick.
loss. Are you? You've done everything that you wanted to do without boundaries and you got caught. It has nothing to do with Lexi. It has everything to do with you. And he just
Ew.
cannot.
He's so gross, dude. He's so gross. He and Kyle are like, ew. Ew. Not
But
Kyle Richards. Well, her too, but Kyle Cook. But you know
yeah.
what? Yeah, all the Kyles.
But this, by the way, is where I think maybe West was coming from because like West gives him a hug and then West goes, "Well, the good old breakup after 5 weeks." So it's almost not worth pressing. Like, are you sure you don't see where she's coming from? They've known
Totally.
each other
Totally.
for 10 days total.
You're
It's
right.
like, this is dumb.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
So everybody leaves. And then we're back in the city, and Lindsay goes to the OB with Danielle, and they hear the baby's heartbeat, which is always magical and mystical. And like, I'm never not amazed that that is a thing that happens.
I
That-
could never tell what the doctor was pointing out. I could tell when he was like more closer to being fully baked, but she'd always be like, "See, and this is the," and I was all, no, I have no idea. Nope, not one clue what you're seeing. Not one clue what you're pointing out.
I feel like it's like a Rorschach test. Like, cause she was like, she's facing us. And I was like, oh, and I was like desperately looking for like, what am I looking for? Is it a close up face? Is it the whole body? Like, I don't know. I missed it, but I'm happy for Lindsay that her pregnancy is going well and great, but
Yeah.
I don't care about Danielle and I don't care. I don't need the fingering jokes. I was like, this is fine. It's filler.
I know.
But
Yeah.
if you might have more to say on that since you're a mom and went through
No,
all this
no,
stuff.
I don't at all. I just,
Oh.
no, when Lindsay got emotional, I loved it, but I also, I'm so scared for Lindsay that she's going to be bewildered when she
The
can't.
attention turns to the child. And
Well,
off of
that
her.
too. That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
I worry about that.
But I thought about like she's putting a lot of pressure on this baby to heal her trauma, her childhood wounds. And that is I think that I definitely experienced healing when I became a mom. I still do. I appreciate it. But it also kicked up a lot of dust. And I've gone to therapy consistently since I left my family of origin. You know what I mean? Family of origin, that sounds like I don't talk to them anymore. Like I left my like I moved out. Jesus Christ. I don't have to be all dramatic about it. So I'd gone to a lot of therapy before I became a mom, and Lindsay doesn't behave in a way that would lend me to believe that she has. And I'm not saying that she has to go to a ton, but just like she doesn't act like she's still Lindsay's. Do you know what I mean? Like she still shows the same kind of behavior that she's showed us since season 1. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. I apologize for being so long-winded about this. So
No.
if I had dust getting kicked up, I imagine that I'm projecting that she might too. And also, she's not going to be able to fill that hole with her baby, I don't think. I can't say. I'm not her. I don't know. I suspect. I have a feeling that she will not be able to. Am I missing something? Am I being heartless?
No, I just mostly worry about I think Lindsay needs all the attention on her, and I don't think that has been addressed at all. So when the baby arrives, I wonder if it will just become a prop for SpawnCon. Like Lindsay needs to be the focus. And when a baby comes on the scene, they literally need to be the focus in order to survive. And I think she might have a real problem with that competition, especially because it's a girl. Like, I'm worried, I'll be honest. I think she's really enjoying being pregnant. Like, even when she came into that scene when Lexi was on the phone with her sister, Lindsay came in and made like a half a comment about Lexi's situation, then was like, the baby's kicking, feel it. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's all about you. It's always
Yeah.
all about you. And even that confessional when she was weeping, I didn't believe it. I was like, you're doing this because you're being a mom and this is what moms do on Lifetime. And it's like, I half believe it just because the whole thing is, again, a mystical miracle. It makes no sense how this could happen
I
over and
know.
over again, that a whole
God.
individualized human being grows in a belly and arrives and becomes an adult. Like it's wild to me, but we'll see with that
Yeah.
Lindsay. I think she'll just turn it into a Bravo TV show, and I worry. I worry.
Yeah. I really think that I think she's not going to find what she is looking for.
Yeah.
I am not saying that she doesn't have that thing in her that makes her like really want to be a mom. It feels like there's more to it though. It feels like it's a lot to do with
Her whole life has been
her
checklists.
childhood,
Yeah.
and her
She just
mom
keeps.
left her when she was, what, 2 or 3?
Yeah.
And that's a big fucking deal. That doesn't leave
Huge.
you. That doesn't leave you
Yeah.
regardless of how many hours you go to therapy in whatever way. In whatever ways you choose to heal yourself, like that is never going to go away.
No, that is like eternal grief.
Exactly. And that is what I'm trying to say. Oh God, I'm doing my best. This is just how my brain works. I couldn't get there immediately, but I did. Thank you for helping me. But yeah, I feel like she's looking for that healing in this transition, in this new role she's going to be taking on, in this new relationship. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm projecting 100%. Let me be clear. Okay, I'm done. We can move on.
Well, we move on to Jesse moping into Lexi's apartment and saying, like, it just shocked me when you were so angry and making me out to be some monster. And Lexi, I love her, is like, in what way? He's like, you were saying I was being strategic and manipulative. And she's like, well, that's what it seemed like. And then he goes, okay, shutting down again. And she is clearly annoyed and done at this point. She goes, you seem upset. And he's like, well, I don't know if you'll be able to trust me. And her eyes just widen, like, of course not. Like, where have you been, you dumbass? And he goes, I know I shouldn't have let someone suck my toe. I didn't realize what I was doing was fucked up. Well, there's your problem right there. You should not be in a relationship if you don't realize that that's fucked up, or you need to be more clear about your lack of boundaries in a relationship. And then he says, my favorite line, but I don't want our relationship to end because of actions I took. Well, nobody wants anything to end because of actions they took. But if you take actions, they have what are you talking about?
He's such a child. He's
He
a child.
He's in a like fairy tale. Like, just because you're sorry doesn't mean that the pain and the disappointment and the betrayal goes away. You did that. And him avoiding responsibility for that ended the relationship. I don't think it was the toe sucking that ended the relationship. It's all of his behavior in the aftermath. Because I could root for anyone to go the distance, but this guy is just a lost cause. And I love Lexi for being like, look, I'm not a fighter in a relationship. Like, it's exhausting. We might just not be compatible. And he won't take no for an answer. So he tries to convince her. And she goes, we just have to decide, is it worth trying or not? And I'm going to go with or not, even though it's a cliffhanger. But no, I think
want
it's
better for
not.
her. I want better for her.
She wants better for
Yeah.
her. She could barely stomach his dumbass.
Oh, he was so hangdog.
I know.
He was so hangdog, but he didn't say any sorry behind his hangdog. He just wanted to have his hangdog. Fuck you.
We're
Oh.
with Amanda and Kyle at
Yeah.
lunch. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Amanda talks about having struggled mentally and professionally last year, and now she's medicated and putting herself out there professionally. And she said she's finding herself again and figuring out who she is and what she wants. And it's very empowering. To the point where Kyle reports he's testing his fertility, and Amanda asks with the most hope and energy I've ever heard in her voice, say, is there a chance you are infertile? Because it wouldn't be the end of the world. And Kyle looks shocked. And she says she's not sure she's compelled to take care of another being when she's just now figuring out how to take care of herself. And I thought that was like, this is someone who is going to therapy and it is working. It's a long road and it takes a long time, but Amanda is proof. Another person like Carl, if you watch from season 1 to this episode, it's a whole new person who's evolved in the way people should evolve. We do grow up if we take care to choose to. And Amanda's choosing to, and I think it's really fucking cool.
Yeah. And this is a stark contrast. This is a really uncomfortable conversation. This is a big thing. They got married thinking that they wanted the same thing. She had experiences that led her to question that. That's a big thing. And she's sharing this big thing that is going to be received in a big way. And it is, and it was. Take note, Jessie. This is what a real relationship looks like.
And she said, she's like, I don't feel good about feeling this way. She said, I need to make sure I'm okay. And that may mean not having a child. And that's where I was like, well, then the future of this marriage is unclear right now, which is fine. But because Kyle has a confessional where he's gravely concerned, even though it's such a flip-flop from last year, because last year Amanda wanted to move to New Jersey and get pregnant. And Kyle was like, no, I don't want to leave the city. I can't imagine that life. And now in his confessional, he's like, we've been married 3 years. 90% of why I created Loverboy was to create a financial foundation for a family. My dad is 81. Life will be incomplete if there's not something more than what's in his life right now, meaning kids. They're in pretty different places right now.
I don't know. I wonder if he's just he seems like such a by the book person and meet the deadline person. And like, okay, so you grow up, you go to college. He was probably in a frat. And then you do this and you start your business and you make your money and then you have your kids and your yada, yada. It's like, it doesn't have to, there are other ways. And so it's like, does he really want this, or is this just what he thinks he's supposed to have? And I don't know, like his dad being 81, I know that there are some parents that are like, oh my God, when am I going to get grandkids? When am I going to get grandkids? It feels like having a child for your parents or having them be part of the consideration. Am I missing something that is not necessarily like
it feels
good reason?
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't
wanna
either.
Create a family. And
Yeah.
that was certainly a lot of what I wanted to have contribute that. Like I wanted to be pregnant and have that feeling and have an infant and watch it grow, like, and have family be a part of, I don't know, like.
But that's for you. Like when he said his dad is 81, the way I processed that, the way it translated to me was that like he wanted to, maybe it's the same thing and I'm just
I think
It
that was
sounded
more of
like,
like there's a clock on this. Like if he's going to give
yeah,
his dad a grandchild in a time that will be meaningful for his dad,
okay,
it's
okay.
if Amanda doesn't get pregnant today, it feels like it's less certain that his dad will be available to be a
Mm-hmm,
grandparent. And
mm-hmm.
that's hard. That's sad if that's something you'd envisioned for yourself.
I see. I see. I can see that. I can see that. Okay. Okay. Again, I look for reasons to pick this man apart because I find
No,
him
it's
repugnant.
fair. But I also feel like I don't think people have to stop their lives in order to look ready to have a child. Like you got to keep living because if you don't, even if you want to have a child and they start trying, there's no guarantee they'll have one, or
Right.
certainly not right away. You have to have a big, full life that you love with or without a child. And then when the child comes, I think you make adjustments because you want to. And,
Yeah.
you know,
So he's
but I don't
welcome
think
to
people
keep.
should stop and just like nest before there's a kid there. It's almost sadder and
I get it. I
scarier.
get it. I get it. So he's okay. Fine. Kyle, go DJ to your heart's content every goddamn weekend.
Well,
Stay
and
out till 4, whatever.
his DJing gave Amanda the space to become who she is now, you know?
That's a good point.
He stopped blaming her for being depressed and went and did his own thing, which gave her time and space to figure out who she is and take little steps toward her dreams. And weirdly, I think they're both individually in mentally stable places. And now I don't know if that means the marriage will continue to be viable or if they'll find their way to some compromises. I don't know.
I don't either, but I do not see them breaking up at all. She married him.
But she was depressed and she's only 30.
I
Like,
thought she was older than that. No?
didn't she just turn 30 last year,
Oh
last
my
summer?
God. Oh my God. These babies, they're such babies.
Yeah.
Interesting,
And
interesting,
she's so
interesting.
close with Paige, who's going through this on her own of like having a life of your own is really fulfilling and exciting when you're young and energized and your whole life doesn't come with that kind of youth and energy. Like there's a reason to capitalize on it if you want to then. So, because Amanda's got a decade at least before she has to start getting concerned about pregnancy, fertility stuff.
Uh, the internet says Amanda is 34.
Oh, what?
She'll be 34. Her birthday is a few days after mine. She was born on July 24th, 1991.
Oh
So
my
she's
God.
33.
I
Which
swear to
is
God, the
which is
pandemic just
practically
collapsed
30,
all
but
time and space.
yeah,
I
yeah.
literally thought it was last year that she had her 30th birthday, but that must have been during the pandemic. Yikes. Well, don't rely on me for dates
No.
and times, but
Yeah.
I do wonder if she and Paige are in a similar moment in time where they're like, I didn't realize I could be something more than a wife and a mom. And now that these opportunities are coming through, I don't want to set them aside for a Craig or a Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It was a good episode. It was a really
was.
good episode.
It was
Frustrating at
great.
times, but very good. Yes. What else did you watch this week, friend?
I did not watch a lot this week. Oh, you know what I did watch is I watched Love on the Spectrum. It was recommended to me by a bunch of people and it was wonderful. I loved it. And then I watched Atlanta and I don't think I watched anything else. I know Love Hotel came out and I didn't watch it. Did you watch it?
Yes,
What
I
else did you
did.
watch? You tell me.
I watched Righteous Gemstones. It was the penultimate episode. This season
Yeah.
has been like every single freaking word that is uttered from that entire cast's mouth is a morsel of pure comedic gold.
Yeah.
And I am so sad to say goodbye to this show. And I think I want to do a rewatch before Sunday, but that would take a lot of time. I don't know if I'll have time to do it, but everybody is so brilliant. So freaking, chef's kiss. The playoffs went wah.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
it's okay. It's okay. We'll be back next year better than ever with
Yeah.
a center,
For anyone who doesn't know, the Lakers
more
did
gelled.
not win the
Yes,
series in a
Lakers
very decided way.
was
It was a
eliminated in the
bummer.
first round. Like nobody saw that coming. Nobody.
And it was like 3-1, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
4-1.
Mm-hmm.
That was
They
a bummer.
lost in game 5.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anyway, that was rough. And then, yes, Love Hotel, which I loved it.
You did?
Shannon has not changed at all. Absolutely not. No change at all. There have been rumblings, again, in the Bravo subreddit, which I can't recommend highly enough. Bravo Real Housewives. I'm just saying, like, if you have some time and don't want to look at the hellscape of the news headlines, like the real news, It's a good time. My point is that people think that Ashley is still dating Josh. Ashley from Potomac is still dating the guy Josh. She saw
That
that
looks
we
like
saw her
Jack
date.
Harlow.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. So when she's going on the dates, it's like, can I take her seriously? But then can we take any of these goddamn dating shows seriously? Absolutely not. If we haven't learned from The Bachelor, Love is Blind, it's my problem if I haven't learned from those shows. My point is, I love Giselle Bryant. Oh my God, who else is on it? Why am I forgetting?
Countess,
Oh, the
Luann.
Countess. Oh yeah, she's
Just for women who need a paycheck.
she's great
That's
on it.
all I
Yes,
see
you're
in that
absolutely
cast,
right.
which is why I was
Yes,
not
you're right.
drawn to watch it right away.
Yeah,
Because I was
you're
like, these
right.
women are showing up to get paid, and God bless them, and I hope it's good TV.
Shannon's already wildly insecure, and the scenes from next week, it's really great. It is
Okay,
a
I'm glad to
great
know that.
Bravo fluffy gift. I'm 100% on board. And then again, I'm moving through Yellow Jackets. I did have to scale back. It is too gnarly of a show to watch. So I'm taking a break from Yellow Jackets. Anyway,
Good.
and what was your antidepressant this week, friend?
My antidepressant was, I think what it was is I had a business thing come up on Monday. I got an email from some executive and it absolutely panicked me. All of these years in 12 steps rooms trained me. The panic came over me in a huge wave. And then I called a friend in a program and I called a friend in the business to get advice. And I combined their advice and I responded to this email. And it was good news, the email, by the way, which shows you how fucked up I am. The email
No.
came in. No, well, I'm just saying, like a random good news email came in out of the blue and I panicked. That's hilarious to me. But at least I know like how to move through that in a meaningful way. And both people I spoke to, one of them answered right away. And we only talked for 3 minutes because he's super practical. And he was like, say this, this, and this. And I was like, great. And then the other person called and had a longer conversation with me. He is a bigger picture person. He's the industry person, but he was like, Margie, like, what are you doing? Like, why does this panic you? Like, by the end of this month, let's have this, this, and this in place so you're not in this position ever again. And he's like, I'm going to call you and Catholic shame you into getting this done. And like, I think I'm just really appreciative of support. Like, I tend to still, unless it's a moment of total panic, I consider myself, my first thought is that I'm a burden and this will be annoying to someone. But this needed my immediate attention. And so I didn't have time to have that thought. And I reached out and was met with like this immediate kindness and support and help. They were just so helpful, so much clarity from people who anyone outside my situations can see things that I can't. And I'm so grateful for that. And I asked for their help and they readily gave it. And it was great. So I'm just grateful for, I don't know what you would call that. Connection, community, whatever. Support. It was great.
Support,
Good.
genuine, authentic, selfless, coming from a place of honestly, like you genuinely want the person that you're talking to feel better because you love them that much, you know?
It's also like from what we sort of talked about earlier of like, I now am a person who I do let myself be seen in all of my dimensions, flaws and all. The people pleaser in me is mostly healing. And so these people know me. So I could call them and say like, hey, I got good news and I'm completely panicked. Can you help me through this right now? Like, and it wasn't, I didn't have to explain why. They were just like, sure, this is a very Margie McGee response. Let's take these steps and move it along. So there's it's the long-term accumulative benefits of therapy and programs and connections, and it all falls into place in moments like that. So I'm real stinking grateful.
Love it. I love it.
And how about you? What was your antidepressant?
Well, Josh and I got to go out 2 times this week by ourselves, and that is major and huge, and I don't take it for granted. We went to a big school auction last Saturday, and then last night we went to another school get-together. But it's just nice when he and I can be in the car by ourselves together and just have a conversation that's just a grown-up conversation. We adore and are obsessed with our kid, but it is rare that we get to be together. And we just had a great time. After we got home from the auction on Saturday night, we had some Taco Bell DoorDashed. Oh, I think we watched like season 8 of Summer House, but and we also watched Gemstones from last weekend. So that was great. But
So fun.
the big one, friend, is talking to you the other day. Again, I have the depression kitty and the anxiety mosquito. What I'm referring to are two very impactful and relatable characters, manifestations of depression and anxiety that are on that animated show called Big Mouth on Netflix. It speaks to my soul. My point is, the depression kitty came and fully just sat on me in her big, warm, comforting body. And the anxiety mosquito just like kept me numb. It's been a while. It was like a week. And I acknowledged myself that I picked up the phone and I called you. I texted you first to say, I'm SOS calling you if you have a chance to pick up. You picked up. You didn't even see my text. My text didn't even come through before you answered the phone. I love you so much. And you stayed with me on the phone until I could get a little plan in place. I did it, and I have been feeling better ever since. So I think that was the day before yesterday. So yes, I feel good and like I'm coming out of it. And I think what I need to do is prepare myself to have these dips. A, because I'm so sick of judging myself through them. I've never shooed the depression kitty or the anxiety mosquito out of the room or away from me successfully by judging myself. They
No, you just
only
invite the shame wizard to the
right. Oh,
orgy.
fuck. The shame wizard. That dude.
Then
Oh,
all three of them get in the
dude.
mix. What
Oh
a
my
mess.
God. They do. They do. It's like if I am just in that place and I don't judge myself, I probably won't stay there as long as I did. I had a really busy April. I had to pack twice. I coordinated a trip to Disneyland with my kid that was timed and, I wanted to do all of these things. So when we were there, I didn't have to think about it. My point is my brain worked hard in April and I traveled to Disneyland. Then I went to Portland to visit family. Then I had this auction party that was kind of a big deal. And it's like I had all of these things going on and my brain was working harder than it normally does. And maybe I just needed some time. But if I take the time to bed rot like Paige does, I don't do that. Like I don't let myself rot because I have a kid. I should not be. Ramona, you don't get to do that. You have a kid. You need to be. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? Paige is on tour. Paige wrote a book. Like I compared myself to fucking Paige DeSorbo. That is insane. All roads lead to Bravo, FYI. All roads lead to Bravo. But I'm just painting a picture of what that judgment looks like. Josh is so supportive. If I need a day to like stay in bed and recalibrate, he's like, you're different than me. I don't need that. I need other things, but I don't need that. If you need that, like, just do it. I'm not going to judge you. I judge me. I still have that, like, I'm under that productivity boot, man. Like it's on me. And I'm sorry. I don't need to, you know what I'm saying. But my point is that I think this time I'm like, you need to start preparing for this, Ramona. When you travel, you need a day to like bounce back, a day or two without judgment. When you do, yeah. So I'm getting there. But my friend, I really thank you so much. And I know I don't have to thank you, but you saved my ass and I appreciate you.
And you mine a million times over. Like it's so nice
Happy
to
to.
have that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
same. It's just nice to have that knowing that
It's
it's like,
worth it, Jesse Solomon. It's worth it.
yeah,
It's worth it. It's worth it to show your parts that you don't want to show.
yeah.
It's worth it to admit your insecurities. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I had nothing else to say. It's
Okay.
just, I'm with you. I think there's so much, there's like a lot of freedom in what Carl and Sierra expressed to each other, like being
Yes.
fully known and received by someone. Then there's no confusion when you're in a moment of indecision or crisis that you'll be accepted when you reach for that hand.
Yeah.
So,
And if my days don't look like somebody else's, I don't get to compare myself to somebody else. I get to only compare myself to me.
It's so
And
hard.
it
It's
is so
so
hard.
hard.
It's
It's
so
the
hard.
hardest assignment.
Especially when I see people being the way I wish I could be. I wish I could meal plan. I wish I could go to the store without feeling like it's a life or death situation to try to pick out food to feed my family. I wish I didn't shit my fucking pants every time I got to pack a suitcase. I do. I can only compare myself to me.
Mhm.
But when I see other people that seemingly have it together in a way that I don't, I forget that their skill set may not include something that to me is not a big deal and it doesn't stress me out. And that doesn't make them better than me or me better than them. I'm just fucking me, dude. I'm just me. So, you know how we always say, like, take care of yourselves this week? Dude, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just today, just for the rest of the day after you turn this podcast off, your only measurement is you. Your only measurement is you. And if
Take
you need to
care and
rot in your
Don't
bed,
compare. Yeah.
take care, don't compare. Yes, I love that. Anyway, oh, friend, I had fun. This was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this summer house. Thank God.
Oh, thank God. That's what the doctor ordered, man. Yes.
So everyone,
oh,
go ahead. You go.
No, yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you always for listening. We appreciate the reviews. We appreciate the ratings. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you passing it on. And we just appreciate you and hope that at the end of listening to this, you feel as good as we do making it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. All right. We'll be back
talk,
next week.
next week. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye, everyone. Ramona and Margie are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.